In case you missed it, they are on Substack and Twitter saying that A Little Life is Marauders fanfiction. I haven't had to dust off my A Little Life playlist in a while, but in case you don't know, A Little Life is a very, very, very popular book that came out in 2015. It was sold as a story about four queer friends, and then it turns out that the book was actually about one man who is deeply, deeply, deeply sad, and trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. A lot of people love the book. It is a lot of people's favorite books. It is widely beloved. I famously do not love it. You can check out why in this playlist. I don't really engage with the Harry Potter fandom anymore because of J.K. Rowling and her beliefs, but I used to be deep in the forums, deep in the fanfiction world, deep in the community. I have a playlist on here about fandom lore where I talked about a lot of drama way back in 2022. So when I saw this, a combination of two of my interests, I had to tap in. In case you don't know, the Marauders are Harry Potter's dad's friends. People have always been interested in their time at Hogwarts, and they exploded in popularity when All the Young Dudes was written. That's a fanfiction by Miss King Bean, 89. This is the Goodreads cover. When I was growing up, people were very canon compliant, and then as J.K. Rowling slowly revealed more and more of herself, people have decided to take this sort of world and run with it, right? So when you have, I made a video about this a couple of months ago, but when you have conversations about the Marauders now, the entire fandom is very like, there's a lot of headcanons that go on, like people are plus size and queer and disabled, and like they race swap a lot of characters, so it's just like a whole other world. In the iconic piece, Hanya's Boys, Andrea Long Chu, I would give her the Pulitzer every year if I could, takes aim at Hanya Yanagihara, the author of A Little Life, and sort of compares the book to a hurt comfort fanfiction, right? But A Little Life is known, when you are not familiar with fanfiction, you don't understand the rhythms of fanfiction, but like, if you read fanfiction, you very much understand exactly what she was doing. She would take Jude and put him in crazy situations so that other characters could comfort him. Jude was also accused by many people, including me, of being a Mary Sue, which is a sort of character that's like perfect, has no flaws, and is like deeply beloved. Every single person that meets Jude immediately loves him and they want to protect him and take care of him. Unless they are like assaulting him or terrorizing him, right? He is both angel and permanent victim. The allegation was intimated in Leave It Unread, the Substack. You can go check it out if you want. The piece is called A Little White Music, where the author is also coming at the handling of race, where two of the four friends in the book are Black, and they are mysteriously shunted off to the side, right? Like when the book becomes about Jude at about the 40% halfway mark, they are like not really heard from again. I won't spoil you, but the book is not great on the race of it all. It's interesting because A Little Life is held up as this pinnacle of queer literature, but like when people read it, they're like, what is this? Fanfiction adaptations are definitely having a moment. I've talked about this a couple of times on here, but there were three separate Hermione fanfictions that were published this year. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, Alchemized, and Rose in Chains are all like, they are all avowed fanfics. They're not like hiding it. Red, White, and Royal Blue was accused of being a fanfic. And worse, it was accused of being Social Network RPF, which is real person fic, which is sort of verboten. It is, depending on your tolerance for weirdness, a lot of people, that is their hard line. I've made videos about this where I'm like, well, no, it's weird to write about real people and like picture them like kissing and stuff. But it turns out that the author, Casey McQuiston, is a... They found out that Red, White, and Royal Blue was not a fanfic, but it is the work of someone who did used to write Social Network RPF, which, you know, your mileage may vary. A lot of people don't know that Cassandra Clare started out writing fanfiction, and her series, The Mortal Instruments, started out as Ginny Ron fanfic. And I read this book a couple of years ago, and I made a video on here where I said, this is fanfic, and people were like, no, how dare you? And I'm like, I've read Drarry. I have been reading fanfic since 2001. I know in my bones and in my soul when something is fanfic. This is fanfic. I think it's interesting because post-COVID, people are much more open about their proclivities and the things that they like and the things that they engage with. And it has changed fandom spaces tremendously, which is one of the reasons that I'm not there anymore. And also just because I think I don't care about this anymore. But after the Hanya's Boys piece, I definitely was like, yeah, this is definitely hurt comfort fic. But I never like went the step further and was like, oh my God, this is Marauders fanfic. I think there is something deeply delicious about the sort of fandom infiltration of like established, esteemed literature, right? Because when you think about sort of Red, White, and Royal Blue and a lot of these other romances or traditionally published fanfics with the serial numbers filed off, that's the parlance, still not like treated with respect. There are still people who are not going to read it because it's either romance or a cartoon cover. This is not me. This is just like general. If you go on Reddit or people who like deem serious literature, these are some of the reasons that they won't engage with it at all. But the fact that this book, which is so beloved, could also be fanfiction. I think fandom people know each other. It's one of those things where it's like you see the way that people write, you see the sort of themes and motifs that they pick up on and that they center their stories around, and you're like, okay, I know what's going on here. But this is an allegation that I'll be sitting with.